Welcome back. Now, Namibia joins the rest of the world in commemorating World Radio Day. Now, radio continues to play a vital role in connecting communities, amplifying voices, and strengthening democracy, especially in regions where it remains the most accessible and a trusted source of information. This year, the spotlight shines on the KAVANGO West region, proudly hosting the national commemoration of World Radio Day tomorrow at Morani Veterinary Checkpoint. Joining us this morning via telephone is the governor of the KAVANGO West region, Vena Sinimbo, who will share insights on the significance of hosting this important global celebration, the impact of radio in rural and developing communities, and how the region is leveraging radio as a tool for development, education, and social cohesion. Governor Sinimbo, good morning and welcome to Good Morning Namibia.
Good morning, Todd. Good morning, Namibia.
Morokeni. First things first, Governor, what does this mean for KAVANGO West region to host this year's World Radio National Commemoration?
It is a great honor, moment of pride, and of course, a recognition for our region to host this year's national commemoration. So as a predominantly rural region, radio for us is not just a communication tool, but it's part of our daily life. So for many of our people, especially in remote villages, radio still remains the most accessible and reliable source of information. So this event at Mururani sends a very strong message that rural regions matter and that the voices of our communities are important in national conversations. It also allows us to showcase the role radio continues to play in connecting our people.
Now, Governor, you touched a little bit on it, but perhaps from the viewpoint of those that are living in KAVANGO West, why is radio still such a powerful and relevant medium, particularly in a region like yours?
KAVANGO West, over 90% of our population lives in rural areas. So access to internet and digital platforms is still limited in some parts, but radio set is affordable and it's widely available. Even in areas without electricity, people can still use batteries-powered radios. So radio speaks directly to our people in languages which they understand. It reaches every corner, farmers in their fields, traders in their local markets, and families in their homes. Radio still informs, educates, and entertains without requiring advanced technology. That simplicity is the strength of radio.
Now, specifically, how has radio also contributed to the development, education, and information sharing within your region, perhaps through even the engagements that you normally have as governor of the region?
Radio has played a major role in information dissemination, sharing agricultural information with farmers. Usually as local leaders, we will have to use radio for us to communicate. Even we have to communicate government programs, education opportunities, health services, communicating all developmental or development initiatives, providing updates about emergencies such as flood and drought. So KAVANGO West, radio really bridges the gap between government and communities. It ensures that no one is left behind. This is one of the tools that we use to communicate directly and engage directly with our people. So being a rural population or rural region, this is our very, very important tool that we use to communicate.
That's good to hear, Governor. Now, this year's World Radio Day carries a global theme. How is KAVANGO West aligning its activities within the theme for this year?
This year's commemoration is especially meaningful because it coincides with Safer Internet Day. Our focus is not only on celebrating radio, but also on raising awareness about digital safety, particularly for children and young people. We are using this platform also to encourage responsible online behavior. to promote awareness around cyber risks and to highlight the importance of protecting children in digital space. At the same time, we are reaffirming radio's role as a trusted source of verified information in an age where misinformation can spread easily online. So we are celebrating radio as well as creating awareness of Safer Internet Day.
Now, what role do community radio stations play in promoting local languages, culture, as well as social cohesion?
In fact, community radio stations are custodians of our identity because they broadcast in our local languages, which strengthens cultural pride and ensures inclusivity. They discuss issues that directly affect local communities and give ordinary people a voice. Through local programming, they promote unity, social cohesion, and understanding. They also provide space for traditional leaders, youth, and community members to share perspectives and solutions to local challenges. So that is really what radio stations mean to us. So when people hear their languages on air, they feel seen, they feel represented, and that builds unity.
Builds unity. Now, Governor, in an era dominated that is by social media and digital platform, how can radio remain competitive and impactful, especially in a region like you indicated, such as yours, with 90% of the inhabitants living in rural spaces?
Radio does not have to compete with digital platforms because it can complement them. Many stations are already streaming online and engaging audience through social media. What keeps radio impactful is credibility and connection. People trust familiar voices. They value information that is accurate and relevant to their daily lives. By embracing technology while maintaining high standard of journalism, radio can remain both modern and trusted. So regions like KAVANGO West, radio will still remain relevant because not everyone has access to smartphones, as you might be aware, or stable internet. But almost every household has access to radio. So radio must adapt, not compete.
Radio must adapt and not compete. What challenges do radio broadcasters in KAVANGO West face, and how can perhaps these challenges be addressed, Governor?
Broadcasters in our region face challenges such as limited infrastructure in certain remote areas, funding constraints, and access to advanced technology. While progress has been made to expand coverage, there are still communities that need better signal access. So addressing these challenges requires continued government support, investment to invest in infrastructure, and partnership with stakeholders. Strengthening training opportunities for broadcasters is also important to ensure quality and professionalism in content delivery. So if we in rural broadcasting, we invest in informed communities. So that is really some of the challenges that broadcasters are facing. And if we can close that gap, I believe those challenges can be addressed.
Now, lastly, Governor, what message would you like to share with broadcasters, journalists, as well as listeners as we prepare to celebrate World Radio Day, specifically at the Mururani checkpoint tomorrow in the KAVANGO West region?
To our broadcasters and journalists, I encourage you to continue serving with integrity and dedication. Your work shapes informed communities and strengthens democracy. To our listeners, especially our young people, I urge you to use both radio and digital platforms responsibly. As we advance in technology and as artificial intelligence becomes more present in our lives, we must work together to ensure that the internet remains a safe and a productive space.
Indeed. Well, Governor, thank you so much for making time to speak to us this morning. We wish you all the best with the preparations and the official commemoration of World Radio Day tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Papandura.
Now, that was Governor Venus Nimbo, who's the governor of Kavango West Region, talking to us about the significance of hosting World Radio commemoration tomorrow. It's taking place in the Kavango West Region at the Murani checkpoint. So she was talking to us about their preparations and what it means for the region, indicating that it's a continuous process to ensure that radio reaches more people. Let us invest in the infrastructure and also ensure that information is received by the end users, which are Namibians. Now stay tuned. When we get to return, we continue with more conversations right here on Good Morning Namibia.